Okay. Hi everyone. I'm gonna do a quick video generally on just some basic tips you should do when playing Realm on normal. These strategies will work on the higher levels. I'm gonna do Rome. It's probably the most faction everyone plays. Cornelia is probably the best one to pick. I had a legendary going with Junia, but it's not really good. The Founding Fathers bonus, that's not good. And Glamorization is good, but this one's the best, Cornelia. That's probably the one you want to play with. The Public Order. It's gonna be more useful, especially at the higher levels when you have less Public Order bonuses. So, here we go. The first thing I'm gonna do is agents. I'm going to show you what you want to do with agents. So wait for this to load. Okay, you start out with a spy. Now, the easiest place to get to is Velthera, because you can get there in one turn. So the first thing you do is you move your spy up. You always want to use your spies first. Now, generally, when you're trying to level a spy, you want to hit a city. 46 versus... Usually cities are better. Okay, I wasn't successful that time, which is unfortunate, but you always want to go there with the spy. Now, when you upgrade spies, you go cunning first, then furtiveness, and then you'll have access to mass poisoning at rank 4. And then at rank 6 and 8, you can upgrade your mass poisoning while doing cunning in the levels in between, because you want to have the best you have as much cunning as possible. Now the other thing is usually I've seen that army withdraw, but if that army withdraws, you still want to take them out. So you attack. If they then flee, you want to chase armies down if you can. It's depending on your army strength too. Like, if your army strengths are like a quarter strength or something, you don't want to chase them down. You probably want to sit inside the city. So that's what you do there first turn. The other thing is this army, you don't really need the levies. And no one's coming at you from the south, based on Syracuse is right there. So that's not going to happen. So I can either move the Hastati north, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to disband this general unit. There's no need for it. Now, if you played a faction before, you'll know, like Rome, the Etruscan League always sends transports to Neapolis. Now, what you want to do there is you have your military wharf. Build a fleet. Go for the cheapest one. You have to look at that. You have no money here beginning. And then you build 3 ballistas. And then next turn you'll double time them over to Neapolis to join with this group here. And then you'll be able to do that. The next move next turn is Ariminum. Now, the other thing is you want to, while you're attacking people, you want to limit the number of openings people have to attack you from. I mean, that's your general guide, is to be able to eliminate and also push. And early game, the biggest and most important thing is don't have multiple armies. Okay, you don't want multiple armies like the very first couple of turns. You just want one big army that can handle any threat. I know it's putting your eggs in one basket, but it works a lot better doing it that way. You build a couple of Hastati. The other thing is I always go... Usually those are 2 turns, not 3. Oh well, not really relevant. But the bottom line is for research, you will go land management. Now, the reason you go land management is it's more important for if you're playing on very hard or legendary. But the reason is because then you'll go into philosophy. You'll be able to build a library, and then you'll get legal documentation, which will increase your income, which is huge. Another increase of income of another 3% plus 2 public order. After you get like labor organization done, then you go into like supply reforms, so you can get your level 2 barracks. After that, then it kind of depends on where you're at, but generally you'll want to get your champion, so you might go for a Manipular Organization, or you can go for Manipular and then Training as a way to start getting further down the line here, because that's once you get further down, you'll get the big bonuses. And obviously Professional Solidarity is huge. You get an Evocati cohort joins your garrison, so you'll have 7 units instead of 6. So those are major things. Now obviously if you're not playing on very hard or legendary, you can skip that and just go straight into management. But it's always a good idea to get philosophy, because you also want to get level 3 archives too. That's an important thing. But generally the first thing you do is you go down here and get labor organization. Gives you more money, and then you can think about either going military or philosophers is a great one too. But you want to get that labor organ. You have to get a minimum of legal documentation at a minimum. Preferably go for a labor organization. Then you can go for philosophers, which will give you level 3 library, which will help you research, plus cultural conversion. You get a little bit there. Then you can do a little bit here into your management and get down to about there. That's really where you want to stop, because right there, you don't really gain anything with mercenary auxiliaries, and that's a lot of wasted turns. So you might want to then skip and do a little bit of building in construction here and get level 3 buildings. That's always something that's important to have. And level 3 food too, based on your food. You kind of want to play the other ones by ear and how you're going to move. So that's kind of how you're going to do your tech and everything. The other thing is buildings. You always want to build harbors. Now I have no money right now, so I can't do that. So I'm going to go Valthar. I'm going to build food there and work on my food for right now. Now if a place comes with a fishery, then you can leave it there as fishing. Don't transfer it to your own, but just leave it as it is so you can gain the fish. Normally I do poison, but you want to do whatever gets you the best, whatever gives you the best chance early on. That will give me 4 food. This will cost me -1. So I'm going to build the port now, because next turn that will be done. You always want to go Shrine of Neptune early. It's some of them, it's Poseidon. And the reason is because you get a little public order, you get some cultural influence. Maritime commerce is huge, but the big thing is there's no food. You're not losing any food. You get less public order, but early game you really need that food. So since I know by playing that on all levels they're going to send transports here within 10 to 15 turns, I want to get my army, my ballistas down there. I have a video that shows how you can deal with Navy transport units with ballista. Now, when you're in the ocean and you want to move quickly, always go double time. You can't attack in double time, but it doesn't matter because you don't take any penalties, really. There's no real penalties for doing that. I'm also taking some public order punishment. Nothing I can really do about that at this exact second in time. Just gonna have to live with that. It will drop eventually. And at the higher levels, you will have some problems early game. You can watch one of my videos to show how I deal with that on Legendary, Part 1. Okay. Always hit them there first. It failed. That's just, there's some luck. There's a lot of luck with the spy. Repair the building. Get another food. And the other food is there so that I can build another one. Now the next move is gonna be Batavium. Oh, I can do, I'm having a little bit of a public order problem. And that, the tax isn't going to help me that much at this point in time. I'm just doing this short guide here, Eric. Once this guy's finished, I'll probably go back to the legendary campaign. I just want to do like a really quick guide for first couple of turns and just general strategies. Now, for trade agreements, it's good to have trade agreements, but if you're going to attack a country in the next turn or two, you don't want to be unreliable and break the treaty. I mean, sometimes it's good to be unreliable. You can backstab people. It's kind of a hit and miss thing. I'm going to try and poison the units themselves, which I got. Didn't do very much damage, but once you get your mass poisoning up, now I could go all the way over to there, but you want to stay in your realm of influence. That way your units get to regen, and I get to build some more Hastati for the engagement against them next turn. So sitting there is what I'm going to do on that front. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these 3 ballista there. Disband this guy. Now, you want to have about five of these levy guys covering your 3 ballistas. Maybe more like 7 if you're not as advanced and you're not as confident on your ballista fighting, then you should go with 6 to 7. But I can get away with probably 3, preferably 4 units. But they will come at you at some point. It always happens. That, and you will want to engage them in the sea. You don't always want them coming to you, because if they land at Neapolis with that army, then they're screwed. You want to fight them in the sea. So that's a major thing about hitting transports, is if they're in the sea and they're in your range, you need to attack them. And you're going to have to fight those battles. You cannot auto-cup them. He regen most of that and he got some more units, that's fine. I got a poison and did a little bit of damage. Not much, but enough. If you see that line there of the 4, that means you've taken their last city. They've been eliminated. You do want to have barracks on your frontline cities. You always want to have barracks. So when I take Medlum, I'm going to put a barracks there. It's the most important thing to be there. I always go cunning for the skill, because then I get tactician. Tactician is great, and then the next skill you can either get the skill for nighttime attacks, which means you only fight 1 unit, or you don't face reinforcements, or you can get the one that helps your regen rate by another 4%, and then that stacks. So then the second rank is like 10%. So that's plus some extra armor and a little bit of extra ammo. So that's good on that front. Public order's starting to settle down there. Provincial's gonna drop 1 a turn for 3 turns. I don't enslave people because I don't like that slave debuff there, -5. So that will eventually go down as time goes by. Now here I'm going to accept these trade agreements because I'm not going to fight those people. Okay, I can hit them in 1 turn, so I'm just going to rest for a couple of turns there and just let everything move up. I can afford that. Yeah, I'm getting killed there. I mean, Latin is only going up 1%. That's hurting me a lot. And build some units to deal with that army that's there. And that should just about... Okay, that's going to conclude the... That should generally conclude the normal Rome guide here. I mean, next move, obviously, gonna go into Batavium, take that, put a barracks there, then take Genia, and then generally you want to go Massilla, Toloso, Bertigala, because Bertigala and Massilla are provincial capitals. You take those 3 cities, small army there, Bertigala, small army in Massilla, and then your main army moves into Spain. You also gonna want a small army here to defend it, Medlem, once you take it. Obviously, when you get more money, primarily you're going to want to increase manpower here first over anything else. That, and give yourself level 2 barracks for the extra Hastati. And that's going to conclude the guide. See everyone later. If you have any questions or comments, you can post a comment. I'll try to answer all your questions. Okay, later.